Hello guys, it's me. Welcome back to my channel. I know it is not Monday or Friday. However, it is a Wednesday and I do have a video idea. What, did that even come out like I wanted? Video idea. So what I wanted to do is kind of talk about something that I feel like whether this applies to you now or will in the future, or I don't know if this just will help. I wanted to talk about breakups. It's kind of ironic how I'm doing this video. I won't go into detail why or anything like that, but they are a thing. In a lot of cases, no relationship is guaranteed to last. Um, so I'm kind of going to talk about my process and how I've evolved from breakups compared to how I used to be. Also, if you hear any chewing or weird noises in the background, that would be Charlie down below me chewing a dog bone. So, sorry in advance if you hear that and you're like, what does that sound? Yeah. So, depending on the breakup, why the breakup occurs, the duration of the relationship, and the amount of breakups you've just gone through, every breakup varies. Some feel easier than others. Some are a lot harder than others. And a lot of times when they happen, regardless of how good or bad they end, there's still residual things that are left. And they can really make someone depressed for a long time. I remember my first breakup from my serious boyfriend when I was a senior in high school to my freshman year in college. We were together, and then the breakup happened. And then that's kind of when I English is hard for me today. That's when I kind of spiraled fully into being depressed. But I think a lot of that had to do with other circumstances, and then that kind of was what broke the camel's back. But I think in the past, I used to blame myself a lot for any breakups that would happen. It's different when you're the person doing the breakup, when you're initiating it, I should say. But when you are the person that is broken up with, you kind of go through a lot of thoughts in your head of what could I have done better, and you analyze every moment, or at least I do, of every moment you spent together and like how you could do something differently. And honestly, at the end of the day, as bad as relationships are, I'm a firm believer in everything happening for a reason. And I think that there is something to learn out of each reason, like why something doesn't necessarily work. There's something to still take away from it. And yeah, I think that's something to remember. There's good and bad to remember from each relationship. You learn what things you might want in a future relationship, things that you don't want. So there's, as bad as a breakup might feel in the moment, there are so many reasons why it must have had happened. That necessarily does not have to be blamed on yourself. It could have literally just been that other person, and there's nothing wrong with anything that you did. It just means that there's someone else out there that is a better fit for you, and in the moment it might not feel like there is, but there definitely is, and that's something you have to remember. I think I had a really hard time doing that for my first few breakups, and I was feeling like I wanted to give up. But also remembering that each time you get a chance to just be by yourself, enjoy that. You know, being single is not a bad thing. I feel like in this day and age, so many people think that being single is like lame. It's not cool. It's like you see all your friends in a relationship. That used to be me. If I saw my friends in a relationship, I'd be like, oh my God, I feel like I'm the only person that's not. And like it made me feel more pressure to want to be in one. But it gives you time to really like have fun. Focus on what makes you happy, on what you want. Focusing on bettering your dream, and bettering yourself. For me, in my most recent breakup, I am able now to really reflect on myself and work on my things that I learned about myself through the breakup, because I really don't feel like I could have done anything differently. I feel like I did the best I could as a person, and now I learned that I have a lot of insecurities that I just need to work on, and that's fine. That's okay, because I have my whole life to find someone, and yeah, like that's That's true. Like, you have your whole life, but you don't get a lot of time to actually really work on yourself and improve yourself. And I feel like until you feel where you're at a good place, you can't involve someone else. If you're still feeling like you're a beginning work in progress, I don't feel like you need to involve someone else, because then your insecurities will really come out, and then in the long run, it's just going to be bad for you. I have like so many thoughts going through my head. I'm like wanting to make sure I get everything out into this video. Yeah, so just like making sure you take the time to focus on yourself and what makes you happy. Remembering to, if you are in a relationship, not give up what makes you happy to make the other person happy. I feel like I made a lot of sacrifices in relationships in the past, and that's not how it should be. There's compromises, but they shouldn't be something that completely changes your whole life. I think there's also, after a breakup, there's time that you're allowed to be upset. You're allowed to cry. You're allowed to mourn a little bit. You're allowed to miss the other person, think of the other person, but don't linger in it too long. I think there's a period of which it's okay. Like I said, it depends on the breakup. It depends why you broke up, and it depends on the duration of the relationship. But I feel like there's a time, and then you need to like pick yourself back up and really get going on what makes you happy, and growing and learning from the experience, because that's what life is all about, is growing and learning from each thing. There's always something to take away. No matter how bad it seems, there is something to take away from it. And remembering that you have a support system, and the friends that are your real friends are going to reach out to you and say, hey, are you okay? Or they're going to wait and sit back and see if you want to reach out to them, because they don't know how you're feeling. So knowing like who you can really reach out to, who's going to support you and make you feel better. I have a really fantastic support system with my friends here and at home, and my mom, that really have helped me every single time and help me get back together. So I feel like I've put myself back together a lot quicker now. Just because I have a lot more different outlook on life. I feel like I just have a more positive thing, and I'm like, okay, didn't work out this time, but there's a reason for it. I can work on myself. I can keep focusing on my dream. I'm young, and there's someone else in there. There's plenty of fish in the sea, as my mom continues to preach to me. Yeah, I feel like I'm leaving so much out, but I felt like this was kind of necessary, because breakups kind of happen for everyone. And I feel like it's applicable whether it happens now or you have gone through it or something. I feel like this is all part of a healing process, which is part of feeling well. And yeah, I just had this idea and I wanted to come and talk to you guys. I hope this was, like always, I hope this was beneficial for you. I hope it helped. If you want to talk further about this, send me a message. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see a video, or if you want to see, if you have an idea for another video in the future, please leave a comment down below. Subscribe. Every person that watches a video, I thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to coming and watch me. I appreciate it more than you know, whether it's 10 views or 100. It's still people that are watching. And if I made the smallest impact on your day that was positive, then I'm doing my job, because that's what I want to do here. So make sure self-care, you're taking self-care. I don't want to say taking self-care. Make sure you're focusing on self-care. It is, if you are in school, it is finals week for college students coming up. So please make sure that you are taking care of yourself and not stressing out too much. I'm mostly talking to myself in that case, because that's me 24/7 stress, and feeling well. And I will see you guys on the next one. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.